Do you have a gallery that you work with abroad? I mean, you are attached to
Yes.
Plevneli Gallery. Abroad, you're represented
So
by?
in Turkey, Plevneli Gallery. In the world, I'm independent.
You're independent.
Because of the world is the canvas. Singapore has a different rules, and then Korea has a different rules, the US. So I just become independent in the world from other projects, because we have so many private commissions coming, going. I cannot handle
How
the
about the
third party.
museums? Your work is already included in museums already?
Yes. One piece in ZKM in Karsuye, Infinity Room, Sonsuzluk Odası, commissioned by 2015 in Turkey. Thanks to Jennifer Steinkamp, her amazing inspiration and mentorship. And then the other project opening next week in National Gallery of Victoria in Melbourne, one of the most Australia's prominent museum. And a new project called Quantum Memories, using quantum mechanics and computation and AI. We trained a neural network with 12 million images, opening next week. So it will be commissioned. It will be purchased by the museum as a permanent installation with many important artists. The other one is now Pompidou. Pompidou Museum is really looking for a new AI project we are talking about, hard to explain. Too many copycats, I'm sorry. And then
full-fledged brain.
These are maybe important ones. There are others, but yeah.
There's a question about data collection methodology. You use already collected data, right? You don't collect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have a team of data scientists, and I am personally a scrapper. Scrapping is a technique that you can write software and then download data with a purposefully curated. So curation of data industry is very important. I'm hands-on. I choose the hashtag, the platform, the APIs, whatever the data comes from. I am hands-on in that game. Mm-hmm. What that means is, imagine Instagram, Flickr.
Usualize
correct. So
by Python, R, Spark modeling.
Yes.
All these.
So the Python. Yeah, the Python is my. I use AI. Python is my main code. If I do visual programming language, I use VBV. And if it's about the computer graphics, Houdini, and so on. And the game engines, Unreal Engine and Unity. Sorry, but I think what I do when train neural network, always look at the data sets from all over the world, right? The libraries, open source archives. We do not enter any password. The idea here is the openness of the data, but we never and ever show original data. That's our ethics. We only show if the collector of the data allows us. So for example, there's a question about the Yapı Kredi projects, which I will explain. So for example, in recently working for a project for a prominent architect. So his entire life is given to us, 2 million images of his body of work. Or then of course we use it, right? But when we do nature project, we download 200 million images of nature from all over the libraries in the world. Smithsonian archives, we use open source data. So, very openly, we use open data, but never worry about egocentric information. That's a key. Wind data, Wi-Fi, LTE, those are like things that we worry about, but not someone's personal, belongings.
There's a question about why do you use latent space for latent being exhibition? I don't know.
So let's remind you what is latent space. Latent space is a kind of a conceptual mathematical space. When you use AI algorithm, you have to imagine that the information you trained AI is in a space mathematically available, but you cannot perceive. Imagine you have a cousin or a friend or a brother or sister that knows something. Okay. So how to get that information from his or her mind, right? How to let him or her talk about what he or she learned. So this is a technique. Latent space is a space where this information is holding. So I think that it is the most important space for humanity next 100 years. If you're an architect, you have to learn about what is latent space. If you're an artist, want to paint with a thinking brush, you have to take your brush and dip it into latent space to paint with a thinking brush. You have to. And this is a location where I'm obsessed with last 4 years since my residency. That's why I'm using latent keyword a lot. Latent is a very meaningful space for AI research where the data hold itself, where the meaning is there. So that's why I'm calling latent many works.
couple of years ago, Refik, I asked you whether is it possible to visualize dreams. Have you ever worked in a dream in a sleeping lab to make the dreams work?
Yes, yes. Actually, for Venice Biennale, for architecture, we are working with Human Connectome project. It's the world's largest data set you can actually hold on to. And it's a fantastic information taken from this more than 5,000 people's unique brain activities for a research. So we are actually visualizing, learning, remembering, dreaming, hallucinating, and many other states of human mind. And I'm very excited for about Venice Biennale. So you will see
In
more. I mean,
March.
I just announced a couple of, yeah. So we are visualizing the moment of dreaming, the moment of remembering, the moment of learning, and all this cognitive data will be visualized.
By the way, you're gonna be representing US or you're gonna
No,
representing
independent.
in
Hashim
English?
Sarkis, yes. So Hashim Sarkis, curator of the Biennale. He's the dean of MIT architecture as well. If you know him, he's a wonderful mind and very creative person as well. He invited me to become an independently as an artist, become a part of the Arsenale. So,
Oh, you will be there. Great. We hope this pandemic will end and we can hopefully start visiting. Um, do you have any work about climate change?
of course. So recently, I'm almost 1 year. We work with United Nations, and United Nations is one of our collaborator, and we have a project coming up with Google Arts and Culture. So we are visualizing the entire climate change back in like last maybe 60 years of data. We are visualizing. And the other thing is we are working for the ocean data that is have been given to us maybe a year ago, maybe more than a year ago. And then we are also visualizing the air quality here in Los Angeles, in California. We won a public art project that is in a state government building. And their job is to, look for the, as you know, in California, we have wildfires and very badly used energy that changes the city's air quality. So we are working for that headquarter of the state air quality for last maybe 1 year. Another project coming. All these projects are focusing on the climate change and the power of imagination with data and climate focus.
Can media arts become globally common? Do you believe data art could be a new revolution in making art, like switching oil to action?
I think it should be. I wish, and I think. We accept or not, the data is the most common language between machines, and it will stay like that for a very, very long time. So we accept or not, it's what it is. So, and the machines do not forget, right? So, it's up to us, of course, think about machine as a collaborator or a living being, but I think this is very predictable to say, yes, it should be a medium of art for humanity.
You prepared a great project for Walt Disney Concert Hall. Now coming back to music, do you have any project covering the whole music history? I mean, using all the music composed for about 400 years and coming back, make him hallucinate and bring us some continuous music data.
Yes, there's two projects that I'm very early to explain their names, but exactly they are focusing on music archives that are very prominent and important for humanity. Two significant archives, music archives.
It's interesting.
We'll explain. Next year it will be several announcements about the.
I know the music school, Juilliard Music School in New York. They have the largest music archives, but I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but I'm expecting with patience because we are also some music research with my husband Patrick George. We are doing a lot of. He is doing actually most of the research on classical music and music. Try to connect the the linkages between composers and how music evaluate, you know, some different techniques and modeling, and reminds me of your work. And with these algorithms, machines can process much faster all these things, and you use your machines. I mean, we are afraid of these robots and machines, but you are already using these machines to produce great work. And what is the team behind, and how you succeed to time tame these machines?
So I think they're really like, again, I'm a hands-on artist. I don't have a team doing everything for me. I do also everything myself. So I code, I choose, I collect data, I train AI. So it's a very common thing that I do pretty much everything also myself sometimes. But having a team allows you to go bigger, and ideas can go like much, deeper. If you have like a scholar researching something, and there are scientists in the team thinks about, how a human brain, functions. And when you have an AI researcher, go like even predict an upcoming algorithm, right? So these are very important. And we have architects as well. So, but what is really inspiring for me is like being able to create a team that can do anything for any time, for any reason, meaning there is no ego in the studio. It's very important. So I openly declare their name, as you see who they are, is very open and proudly sharing their journey, supporting some of them in the grad schools, helping their school. I mean, it's a lot of like, this is not a kind of a boring space with bunch of, commercial things. It's a place of pure art where people enjoy the creativity, being responsible on their talents and imagination, respectfully, sharing their knowledge and even get better what they are doing. So mentorship is the number one in the very beginning. And the more you do this, it's an ecosystem, it's a cultural thing. So it's kind of very, very honest relationship between the art, the pixels, and the journey. The team is now 12 people, can speak 12 language. Again, we are 25 million age, and everyone can code simply.
Refik, you're in the heart of technology. Have you ever thought of developing a game, an application, things like that? What do you think about these things?
Yes. So I think, again, 2017, when we did the virtual archive for Salt Galata, the idea of a library of the future that can be in a VR space, that was a game engine. Or when we did a project in one of the wind data paintings in Chicago, it was also a game engine. It's a game, actually, what you are seeing. Or when you watch another piece for LA Philharmonic, we had another piece using AR technology. And recently for Renaissance project, we got a commission from Italian Cultural Archives. We train our neural network with every single painting, sculpture, and the architecture and the literature, 1600s, and create an XR data painting, augmenting the painting by your perspective. And whenever you move your hand, it basically recognizes you. So killing the perspective problem of the paintings, right? And creating a dynamic.
This is
These are all
go
these
and
are all,
visit,
by the way, game engines.
but not with these things. Like,
No, they are all. No,
so
they are just very smart engines that recognize who you are and then transforms the information.
my question was more like a mobile game.
Oh yeah, I wasn't quite inspired by the quality of a machine for computing the ideas I have. They have a lot of limitations.
Because
So maybe in a couple of years, yeah, they couldn't hold up some important data set. But we have some online experiences coming up with Google Arts and Culture in a couple of months. So that's also mobile friendly. Maybe that can be an option.
Okay, so Özge, you have a question. Please ask your question.
Hi, my name is Özge. First, actually, I have a couple of questions because, like, as far as I understand, you have a very positive view of the world, or as far as comes to the data collection and like machine and AI. But like there is a lot of controversy against data collecting, and what will happen in the near future regarding to machines that are taking over our world or our way of living. Maybe like some people are arguing that analog living is like healthier for us. So like, what are your views on that? Because like your view on general is very positive.
Yes, because I mean, it's a great question. I mean, one of the most fundamental challenge of using data, of course, I mean, who owns data, right? Like, what is a public data? What is a personal data? But we are in a world that I don't think we are anymore in the mercy of, these ethics, right? The machines we use or the systems we use are basically taking all this information with or without knowing. So, I mean, my statement is very clear and simple. And I think we have to detach ego from data. And that will allow us to become, we don't not worry about like the privacy or the free will problem of the humanity. But to fix this problem, it's not on our hands, it's on the hands of the systems that we use. So if they do that, we have a chance to be more, I think, clean and simple in the pipeline. But at the meantime, I can, even myself and my team, we can download hundreds of millions of images. I mean, can you imagine? We don't do any, bad things with this, but we do art at the end, or we let AI to learn, nature or cities or things like that. But what happens if other things are going on with this? So how do we know that? What is the regulations? I don't think it's very clear. And it's our responsibility to ask these questions to the platforms we use. It's on us, not on AI. It's on us.
Yeah,
we are the responsible people.
Yeah, it's the
and
tool.
I'm asking personally whenever.
Yeah, it's a tool at the end. I understand that, but like, you can't foresee who's going to like use it. Like, not everyone is like positive as you are, obviously. So like, I think maybe there's a little bit risk involved in that. So my other question is going to be like, are you thinking about like doing work for VR, since like VR is a new technology that's going to, I don't know, open a new age. So for some people, let's say. So are you thinking going into VR technologies?
Yes, I've been using VR last 3 years. So I don't want to leave it alone. And the medium is getting much exciting for sure. I mean, but I feel like also still very feeling weird when you wear something on your face that you know that you're in a different dimension. I wish we have a feeling that is not triggered by a machine or, like kind of a, like a glass. I mean, glass may go away, sorry, after a while, but when you have a heavy machine on your face, I still don't feel, it really feels like a truly augmentation of our senses. But I mean, waiting for the next genre, maybe the next jump will be very exciting, hopefully. But it's very inspiring to be able to like augment our peripheral vision with a machine that can give us alternative dimensions. It's just so exciting.
Yeah, okay. So my last question. So I had an experience regarding to one of your works. I don't remember the name, but like it was on the Art Week's Akaretler from Plenary Gallery. So your work was kind of on sale, and so I saw I come up with a like woman that is going to like purchase your work from Plenary Gallery. And like she said, okay, I don't want the blue and white one. I want something more colorful. So like I understand your work has like lots of depth and like there's like lots of thinking behind it, and it's very considerate of our surroundings and like our experiences. But like there are some people that are like seeing your works as like a piece of, I don't know, furniture. Or like
I mean, that's it's definitely I mean, that's the depth of the audience. So the depth is reflection, right? So if you have a deep understanding of something, you reflect that. If you don't have it, you don't reflect it. So some collectors really comes with the name of the algorithm, and even like precise talk about the speed, the codec, the canvas. Some comes with these desires. So it's the world, right? It's the audience. It's hard to choose. But I wish my work is perceived by the people who understand what am I doing, of course.
Yeah,
who has like understanding of.
Like, it's a little bit sad that your work was like a little bit unrecognized in that sense. Okay, like it's it evokes a feeling I don't know, the thinking, but like, of course, every artist wants work to be like understand it as he created. But I think it's a little bit
I mean,
sad.
again, I don't know. It's actually very funny because I can talk with, Bill Gates about his collection. I can talk with someone who has no idea about technology. Someone in 8 years old just want to, be a part of the Mars collection, for example. I talk with a neuroscientist who understands, the brain signals. It's really the audience is the thing here. Who is collecting should be responsible for what he or she is doing. And I always explain my work very clearly if there's a question about it, if there's an interest about it. But again, like the audience is very, it's their reflection of life. If you are deep and learned and educated in the realm of art, you can bring more value. If you're just looking for beauty, it's cool, it's okay. It's still beautiful. But I prefer to be collected by the people who understand and have a prediction about future. Like, no, what is algorithm? I wish, of course.
Yeah, I totally understand. But I wanted to ask it. So thank you for your answers and thank you for this interview.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so I need to go to another meeting, but it was a very valuable dialogue in your class, I'm sure.
Before leaving us, I have one last question. Do you know Yusako Maezawa, who has a dream project? He's a Japanese art collector, and he works, or he's one of the he funds the one of the Elon Musk space project, and he's planning to take with them 7 artists to go to moon in 2 years.
Yes. Yeah. So
I think one of these artists could be you.
Yeah. So it's early to explain, but the NASA GPL project I'm doing at the moment is for the same building he is trying to collect data from and the artwork. So I'm aware of it, and I think. Yes, so I'm now officially a NASA GPL also employee because of my work. I'm a kind of a governmental employee at the moment. We have some really basic challenges, but if it solves, I have a chance to be a part of it. Now I remember that. That's a great input.
You are on my list.
Thank you.
I'm betting on that you're one of these people who go with him.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Refik, thank you very much for being with us. It was a very interesting presentation, and everything is recorded. So I'm gonna send you the link and the MP4 whatever, so you can keep it in your files. Thank you very much. Have a nice
Thank you. You too. Çok teşekkürler. Kendinize iyi bakın.
Teşekkürler gelen herkese. Çok teşekkürler.
Sağlıklar. Levent Hocam. Hoşçakalın.
Refik'ciğim görüşürüz. Seni arayacağım.
Çok öpüyorum. Sevgiler.